So, welcome to the world of the Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era. Before we get started, I do just want to put up the disclaimer that all of this stuff is still early production, kind of like samples and prototype stuff, all subject to change, both due to like playtesting, but also even like licensor approval. But anyway, we find ourselves in Black Marsh, which is actually the home of the Argonians. So the fact that you both picked Argonians is very fitting.
That's where we live, yeah.
Okay, so we've got
We're
the
doing it.
Undaunted. This quest is titled, It Belongs in a Museum. You've picked up a contract with Cyrodiilic Collections, a historical society attempting to open a museum of Argonian artifacts in Black Marsh. The current relic being sought by the society is particularly hard to obtain, so the group has hired the services of the Undaunted to bring it back to light. Anything else you plunder in the process, of course, is yours to keep. The target in question is an ancient Argonian tome, said to contain wisdom about how to harness a rare natural resource native to Black Marsh. Cyrodiilic Collections has learned that the book is located in a complex cave system below the city of Stormhold. The organization is light on details, but there are a few historians scattered throughout the region who may be able to help. So this will tell us then where we start in the world map. So we are here in Black Marsh, but we are going to start down here in Lilmoth.
I love that.
We're trying to get to Stormhold, you said?
Correct. Yes. So Stormhold is all the way up
no
there.
worries. It's
so,
on the other side of the map.
the way the quests work
We
as
got
well
this.
is it is a step-based system, and you're not allowed to sort of read ahead. It's sort of like you have to progress through the current step. Once you finish that step, you're able to read ahead. So I'll read the rest of what we have here. So we have our quest objective. Our main objective is to travel to Stormhold. It is recommended you do this by day 11 because you are capped at 12 days. That is the final quest step. However, there is an optional step. Travel to Stormhold, recommended by day 11. Upon completing this step, on your next day, you will begin a delve that will initiate the end of the quest. Or research the caves below Stormhold by traveling to stone wastes or percolating mire, spending a group town action, and discarding equipment equal to party size. Recommended do this by day 6. This option will make the final delve less challenging. And so the two options, so these are optional objectives. You do not have to go to these ones. But if you want to, you can go there, discard equipment.
We're gonna get some stuff.
And you're gonna get some info that's gonna make that final quest step a bit easier.
Yeah.
I see.
Now, quick question.
Yes.
Both, you said it after the second one, but it applied to both. That both are gonna give you things that'll help the final quest. Right?
Either or, so you can't
Either.
go to both.
Okay.
But you can choose which one you go to.
By
So,
day 6.
you don't have to do that, just a
Oh,
recommendation. So
okay.
like if you find yourself behind, like you get to here and it's already day 8, you can still complete it. It's just that's the recommendations, like to keep you moving, to keep you so you're not taking up too much time.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got our guild. Now we have to build our character. So
My
we
favorite
already
part.
selected the character. So go ahead and put it next to your character map, whichever side I suppose you prefer. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up our stats. So you've got the 4 little stat things. I do apologize in advance because the attack one is actually called proficiency currently, and it is this one rather than purple. So just outdated terminology. Additionally, the health
Quit.
stat is going to be 1 higher than what's printed on the card. But the chips should have the right number. So this one there is a 5, so you'll start at 5 health. You'll both start at 5 health. Yep. And so you can place them wherever you'd like. Any of the 8 different sort of circles, you can place your stats.
Are we gonna get 4 more stats at some point?
Not stats, but skill lines.
Skill line. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
And we will also be starting with 1 skill line at the very start. So once you've got all your stats sort of situated, you'll be able to choose a skill line to start with as well.
So this still follows that rule of like, I don't necessarily want to put like stamina and attack they could possibly hit in the middle if I put them on up. Oh.
Yeah. Do you want to focus more on magic? Do you want to focus on stamina?
That's a great question. I feel like we should talk. What do you like, magic, or you want to do be a hitter?
I can
Because
really.
I have no preference.
Oh man.
What are you feeling?
I would only do magic because I feel like she looks like she does some magic, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And,
so
and you
I
look
might.
like you do some hitting, right?
Let's go.
Sounds good.
Okay. So I'm gonna then maybe pair my magic then with health because I really want to make sure I have enough space for my health.
So like how much magic do you have? It's 2, right?
2, yeah.
2, yep, so you can put 2 of those in there. 2 of those next to your stamina. And then the 3 stamina
3 stamina and 1 attack.
and 1 attack. Yep. And now you both do have an optional. This one, the little die. You do have an optional choice that the Argonian has, where at the start you can voluntarily choose to decrease your starting stamina by 1, to draw 3 relics, and choose 1 to keep. That one goes the middle one, and then you need
3. You can have 3 greens.
Oh,
Thank you.
I didn't realize you didn't have a little pile over there. I was like, these are mine.
Don't touch.
So if you want, you can choose to decrease your stamina to draw 3 relics and choose 1 to keep. I will just say stamina, sort of what it does is it is how many spaces you can move on your turn, and it is also how many stamina-based dice you can roll. Proficiency dice, which are like those sort of standard attack dice, are also going to be stamina-based, so you can never roll those with magic. So that's just an idea of what stamina does. During combat, you do get a free movement as well, so it's not sort of like with Too Many Bones, dexterity is both your movement and the dice rolling. Movement, you just get a free movement at some point on your turn, and that's going to be equal to your stamina. So if you want to do that, you'd be able to draw 3 of these and choose 1 to keep. And relics are kind of like the most powerful item types. So not a bad trade-off, but if you really want to make sure.
one of us did it. You want to do it?
I probably should do it because I don't need stamina to.
I think one of us should
I
definitely
roll with
take
magic,
advantage.
right, instead of stamina. So,
correct. Yeah,
so I can get rid of
if you're
this.
doing like magic-based. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. You can choose 1 to keep. Just as a heads up, sort of you can make a semi-informed choice as to like which one. Maybe can I see which ones you got?
I'm guessing probably the.
Got the Scamp Crusher, Berserker's Medallion, and the Claymore. So the Claymore is sort of like a giant swinging attack. So if you wanted to like essentially, if you get yourself surrounded and you roll an attack, you can just do a huge swing and hit everything you're adjacent to. The Berserker's Medallion lets you take a whole additional turn. However, you have to die before it resets. And then the Scamp Crusher lets you take a light fatigue to ignore 2 defense on your target. It is essentially an amount of damage you have to burn through every single turn that you attack them. So that Scamp Crusher being able to reduce their stamina, or reduce their defense stat, can be quite powerful against enemies that have like 2 or 3.
And when I get 1 light fatigue, because that goes down here, as soon as that goes off of my board, it's gone, right?
Correct. Yes.
I mean, I feel like that's pretty good, right? To get rid of some defense, take some fatigue.
Yeah.
I just don't think I'm a Claymore of the Crucible type of person. Where would I even fit a Claymore on this outfit? Like, it doesn't go with the dress. It's got to go.
With it.
I'm gonna do the Scamp Crusher.
I like it.
Good
I like the
call.
Berserker Medallion too, but I feel like the Scamp Crusher works with what I'm feeling here
I'm
with this
feeling
character.
it too.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So the next thing to do is pick your starting class. Looks like the mage.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I really want to do the thief. What do you think?
Ooh.
Since we're scoundrels
Yeah,
anyways,
do
and
it.
then it's going to be using stamina type stuff, I think. So I'm going to try it.
Yeah, go for it.
Sounds good.
We won't have a heavy hitter, but I'm still going to
Okay.
also hit.
We're gonna hit a lot. We don't need. Who needs defense when you've got?
Who needs a muscle man?
Yeah.
Not me.
No.
All right. So next is going to be picking a starting skill line. So there are the 4 skill lines to choose from. There's one-handed, which is sort of like a sword and a shield, so it lets you hit, but also put up some for defense. There is sneak, which I will just say sneak is a little bit tough to use until you get to level 2 sneak.
Okay.
So just as a heads up, it's an exciting skill line, but it's not the most as far as like damaging goes. So then there is restoration, which is like healing and support based magic, and then destruction, which is destruction kind of magic. So it's all about heavy damage for magic.
Ooh, that's tough. Okay, so I definitely was going to do sneak, but now that you've said that, are you thinking I should do
I
one-handed?
personally would recommend one-handed.
One-handed,
And it
perfect.
pairs really well with both
What I'm
the
doing.
warrior or the thief.
Okay,
Like you can
perfect.
both.
Because I was thinking for the thief I would have had to do sneak, but I'm glad it works well for.
And what's,
I'm a little,
Yeah,
you know,
oh, yeah.
rogue.
And what's
very
really nice,
loud rogue. Like, I'm here.
what's really nice is the thief innate it gives you an untargetable status die that you can choose to apply to yourself at the start of any turn.
Oh,
So
cool.
it's sort of like almost like a smoke bomb. And then it pairs really well with things like one-handed because you can get in there, you can do your like big attack. You have defense, so then you can take some hits, and then by the time that defense is gone, drop a smoke bomb and get out of there.
Yeah. I like
and
that.
then
Oh, I'm gonna do destruction.
Good call.
Oh, hell yeah. We need it. We need
All right,
we
so
need
you
the
can
fire.
that is for destruction, and then this is for one-handed, and then these ones, they do have like the little lines on them. You don't need to worry about this for the stats. I know the stats have the lines on them as well. You can just ignore those. But for these skill lines, you're going to want to have that line pointing to the 1, because that's going to mark that you are level 1 for that skill.
I see. Oh, that's a cool little thing.
All right, and then you'll also start with 2 level 1 dice for that corresponding skill line, and then you can place those in the little slots.
Right here.
Yep, you got it. And so, quick rundown on how like leveling up skill lines work. Anytime you get experience points, you can just spend whatever the cost is of the next available. So in order to get a 3rd die, it would be 2 experience points. But currently, you're both at level 1 for those skill lines, which means you can only get more level 1 dice. So like if you wanted to get more of those sword and board dice, that's what you could spend experience on. Or if you wanted to get more of the, what's that one called?
Force shock.
Force shock. That would be what you can get.
So it's not 2 and I'm getting a 2.
Correct.
It's 2, I'm getting a 1.
Now, how you get the next level ones in towns, there's going to be things called trainers. And you can take a town action to visit a trainer to increase that to the next level, provided they go up to that.
Quick question.
Yes, of
So
course.
say I've gotten 4 dice because I've paid my experience points and I go to town. That one town action will upgrade all 4 of my dice to a level 2.
No, what it does is it allows you to then get level 2 dice in the future. So you'll still have those level 1 dice.
Can you trade them out?
You can, but you would have to untrain them, which is like that loss of experience.
So you kind of want to be careful then not to take on too many of, say, a lower power dice, because that's like going to be pushing something one way, right?
Yes.
Okay, very interesting.
That being said, though, level 1 dice. Now, the way the sort of XP works in this game is that enemies are going to sort of scale with you, at least like the number of enemies you're fighting, and that's going to be based on like the group XP counter. However, when you get to endgame is fixed at a specific difficulty, and so the idea being like, okay, as you're playing the game, if you have a couple rough patches where you like, you lose, it's not going to get harder on you. It's going to stay the same until you can get back into it. But if you lose too many times and you just don't get enough XP by the time you get to the end game, it's going to be really, really difficult. And that scaling is also then done at a point too where it's essentially being like, if you get to the experience level that's sort of recommended by end game, you're probably going to have your whole map full.
Okay.
But there are ways to gain more experience, and that's where things like untraining is going to be a little less costly, because you're like, okay, well, I already have my full map full, and I'm still getting some experience. Time to untrain some of these weaker ones, replace them with some better ones. So late game builds is a lot more about fine-tuning rather than just getting more stuff.
Love that.
All right, so I gave yourselves your character with your health chips. Health does carry over from battle to battle as well, so if you take damage, you do get to heal some at the end of every battle, but not automatically to full. At the start
Remind
of
me
battles,
how this works again. Is this just like moving constantly?
No, so you get to choose when you move that, and it's your battle form. So for one-handed, for example,
it's always going to be here now.
Yep. So currently, you would have no reason to ever want to switch that at the moment. But if you were to pick up a magic line down the line,
you can get multiple classes.
Yep.
Very cool. Very cool.
All right. So there's one final thing about setup that I forgot to do. And that is going to be the NPCs that are moving around the map as well. So every region is going to have their own unique NPC mechanic. That might be like, in this one, it's going to be groups of roaming cultists that are sort of moving around the region, trying to cause trouble, and they will be moving towards you at many times. If you ever come across them, you're plunged into a clash, and depending on like what landmarks you're by, they might get stronger or you might get better rewards. So if you would like to roll a d6 here to determine where the first one goes.
Let's get it.
All right, 4. So it is going to go to the closest ruin, which is right there. So that is where the first one goes. If you want to roll the second one, it's going to go to the furthest outlaw, which, all the way up there. All right.
Cultists.
Those cultists. So we are currently on Lilmont. Now, it is generally recommended, and this is not just for the demo, this is probably just for very first day, very first thing, you're always going to start in a town, but you don't actually have to visit that town. At the start of the day, you can choose to just move. The party movement for Black Marsh is 3 hexes, so you can just move wherever you'd like to. However, you can also stay to visit the town if you'd like. It's typically recommended to visit the town on day 1.
I was going to say, I'd like to
so you can
visit the
get
town.
some extra stuff to get you started, but you don't have to.
So we can go so what are our options in town?
Yes, so in town, quest board is where you can pick up side quests. So side quests are going to be kind of, just for fun side objectives. It might involve something that you just have to passively sort of try and do during the course of the game, like be like, hey, you need to kill 5 beasts. And it'll be like, okay, well, let's try to just fight more combat so we can try and get more beasts. Or it might be like, go to a specific spot, like go to the northernmost outlaw landmark on the map and initiate this clash. Or it might be like, next time you're in a delve, populate a bunch of like single health chips, and these are a bunch of rats, and you got to get a bunch of rat tails for this chemist, things like that. Like, or I guess there's one that is about like a guy who really, really wants meatloaf from his childhood.
Of course.
So goofy stuff like that.
I love that. That makes me happy.
But what we can actually access here for the demo, we've got the shop.
Okay.
So the shop is going to spawn 6 items that you get to choose. Typically, it's 1 town action gets you 1 item.
Awesome. So, because you said there's no currency.
Correct. Yep. However, Lil Moth does have a city detail, sort of astounding selection. For each item you want to purchase from the shop, purchase 2 instead. So you actually spend 1 town action to get 2 items. This doesn't refresh in between people though, so this 6 is available for everyone.
4 from the 6, yeah.
And then there's the trainers, so you can train. So you can't train your your one-handed die to level 2 here because their trainers aren't good enough. But you could train a new combat line. So if we were playing with the full content, there might be other combat lines like heavy armor or 2-handed. You could train that here.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to train one-handed, you could do so.
Right.
There is also level 2s for magic, so if you wanted to up your destruction to level 2, you could do that here. And then there's also the stealth line.
And we have 2 town actions.
Yeah.
That is correct, yes.
Now it's 2 each?
Yep.
Ooh, so you can go to the shop and you can do it. That's nice.
And then the last one, they have a unique town square action. This is Cyrodiilic Collections. This is actually the museum that we are sort of contracted to try and get this relic from. But they have, since their museum is here, you may trade in 1 relic for 1 experience point. This does not count against your experience point total, so it would not increase this tracker. So it's essentially a free bonus XP that only you get without making the game harder by increasing the counter. So essentially, you're bringing relics to the museum, and they're like, oh, thank you, and you get experience for doing it. I probably wouldn't recommend doing that with that Scam Crusher that you just got, just because...
I just got this.
Just
brand
got
new.
it. It's brand
I'll wait
new,
to trade it until it's used. Yeah.
You're like shining it.
Yeah, I'm
It's
like you can wait.
But yeah, so what would you like to do?
I think for the first town action, since we both have 2, I'll do the shop first.
Okay, sounds good.
I want to get an item.
I want to see what comes out in the shop.
Yeah, and I get 2, but I want to discuss because I think there's something you're loving. His sap, okay. So we got a potion, weapon, consumable, a crab.
It's a pet crab.
Barnacle crab.
Oh my god.
When a negative status effect would be placed on you, you may instead place 1 damage on this card. Then if there's at least 2 damage on this card, discard it. I don't want to hurt my crab.
You use your pet crab as a shield, basically. Oh, this is my pet. No, don't hit me.
That's interesting. Okay, Stinkhorn Tonic. Place a Bane status die on any non-quest enemy in play, regardless of range. So what's a Bane?
It will deal 1 true damage to them at the start of their turn.
For how long?
For the entire battle.
Ooh.
So the way status dice work for players is it remains in your cooldown track until it just naturally cycles out. For enemies, it's permanent. Now, there are 2 status dice that in their effect say remove at the end of turn or remove at the start of turn. So like things like untargetable or stun won't be permanent, but all of the other ones are permanent. So the Bane status effect die will be on there. And keep in mind, I mentioned that there's like the way defense works in the game is like you have to burn through that defense every turn. Like they reset their shields every turn. And so true damage will bypass that
Yeah.
entirely.
Yeah.
So if you come across like an ogre with
Yeah.
3 defense and
Yeah.
8 health,
Yeah.
be like, whoop,
Yeah.
throw the fart
Throw
in a
that.
jar at them, and then
Yeah.
they'll just stink up.
Yeah, I think I definitely want the Stinkhorn Tonic for my first one.
Sounds good.
And then
And you
this
get
one,
2.
so the His Sap says roll any number of free proficiency skills. So proficiency is specifically this one, or it's
Correct,
any?
yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So you would roll any number of these and then heal.
I think it
the
says
hits.
any number of free proficiency, right?
Yeah. So,
So that'll be
can't
like
exhausted.
these ones. So these ones aren't actually going to go into your cooldown or anything. They're just sort of
okay.
like,
Okay.
if you ever need to roll these that aren't actually attached to your skill dice.
Ooh, this is about
Yeah.
magic, so I won't mess with that one.
I'm trying to decide if I want to get that or if I want to train a second skill tree. Is that crazy to do right at the
Oh.
start?
No, not at all.
That kind of makes sense doing both of yours like that.
Yeah. I mean, that staff is calling my name, but also, here's a question.
Mhm.
So that has the magic skill tree. Could I train in restoration
Yep.
as well?
Yep. So you could, if you wanted to spend both your town actions with the trainer, you could up your destruction to 2 and then get restoration, or you could get restoration and then train it to 2.
Oh, wow.
Can I take 2 town actions to the shop?
Yeah, of course.
So if he decides to train 2, I could take a second. Okay,
Yep.
so for
you
now,
could take 4 items right off.
so
the bat.
for the weapon, if you only roll a single proficiency skill with this attack, set the result to 2. That's would be me for a little while, right?
Yep.
Because I only have one.
And
I think I'm gonna
even
take this for now.
even if you get another proficiency skill, you can just choose to just roll 1
Yeah.
to use that maul.
Yeah.
And then there's also like no restrictions to how many times you can roll dice on your turn. It's just each subsequent die roll you take, you have to gain a life fatigue. So let's say hypothetically you had 5 of those proficiency skill dice.
Mhm.
You could roll 1,
Mm-hmm.
set it to 2, deal 2 damage.
Yeah.
Take a light fatigue to take an additional die roll. Roll 1, do 2
2
damage.
damage.
Just
Keep it like it's like a yeah.
It would fill up your track with a lot of fatigue, but
Yeah.
you are allowed to do that.
Quick question: what's the plan for the card?
They're gonna have art, kind of like sketched art, sort of
Mhm.
similar to like the Too Many Bones.
Like the loot deck.
Yeah. So it won't be like full colorized art, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
I could be
I
wrong
love
about
that.
that.
I love like schematic art or those types
Yeah.
of things. Mm-hmm. Okay, that was my first town action. So it's your turn.
Okay, so you're gonna be a thief. Do we think should I do like a battle mage situation, like one-handed, or should I do like destruction, just go full magic, destruction, healing,
I feel like if you are going to train twice, you should do both
and upgrade destruction
and
get
upgrade get one-handed.
get one-handed or get healing?
Oh, that's what you were thinking.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I should
I
get
didn't
one-handed or if
realize
I
you
should
could
get
get
healing.
healing.
I feel like we're a little squishy, so I'm thinking about getting healing, right?
I like it.
And I'll just be real magical. Okay, so I'm
I
gonna
like
train
that.
restoration once,
Okay.
and then I get two of these.
No,
Or I don't
that's
get
only
any of
during
them.
setup. Yeah, you
Oh,
just get the
okay.
skill line, and then once you start getting XP, you'll be able to start
Got
getting
it.
those.
So would he just pop it in then at 1?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So I pop. It's
Yep.
this,
Number
right?
1. Yep. And wherever you'd like, you pop it in at 1.
You're giving me Mother Gaia feels. I love it.
There we go.
Just
Yeah, I'm being
magical
real
and
magical.
healing and
And then I
Destructive.
will also upgrade destruction to level 2,
Okay.
which means I
just rotate that to 2.
need this, and I need to make this. This is at 1. I mean, this is exactly the kind of character I would probably make in an Elder Scrolls game already. Like, okay, cool.
All right. And then, did you want to go shopping again? Or?
yeah. So remind me of the town square action.
Oh, yeah. So the town square action is you can trade in a relic,
Oh,
which
okay.
are these ones.
Okay, cool.
You'll
So
note that they don't have any relics because they're like,
Perfect.
no, these are our relics. We don't want to.
perfect. Then I'm definitely gonna go shopping again.
Okay.
I'm going to get let's see, Normead gain X tenacity, where X is your stamina. I love that because my stamina is a little bit higher. The crab, I feel so guilty, but I'm gonna take the crabby. I'm gonna give him my
Sounds
negative
good.
status effects.
All right. So I believe we have finished all of our town actions. So then it'll move into end of day, and this just sort of happens regardless if you took a town action or just a general encounter. When you take either an encounter, like let's say we did this encounter, we would consult this symbol for how the NPCs move. Since we didn't take an encounter then, we did a town encounter, we still consult this symbol, but then we're going to shuffle, just move it to the bottom of the deck. So this symbol here is going to tell us how to move the people. So roll a d6 and refer to the overland map compass. The NPCs move 3 hexes in the roll direction.
Ready?
Yep. All right, 1. So we don't actually have the compass on here just yet, but I know 1 is due north. So
Okay.
we're going to move 3 hexes north, but they're blocked because of the edge of the map.
Oh, so they
So it
literally.
has to go straight.
Yep.
Yes.
Interesting.
And then we're going to move on to day 2. There we go. All right, and so it's start of day.
That took a day.
We had a lot of shopping to do.
We did.
And I was training.
Yeah. No, it was a
I have all my goods.
Yeah. And you have 12 days. So.
Yeah. There's no limits, like hand. Like for my steel maul weapon, I can have 50 weapons.
So you have an item limit of 4.
Oh, cool.
You have hit your cap.
Well, 2 of these are discards.
Yep. Oh, yeah. There you go.
So they're consumables.
If you want to as well, you can trade and just give items
very
as well.
Cool.
Though that has to be done at end of day. So if we get into the next battle and you gain an item in that battle and you're already at 4, you will have to discard something.
Is end of day when you do the experience purchasing?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
All right. So now we'll start, and you could visit the town again if you wanted to, but you don't get any experience in town. So.
All right, let's go back to the store.
We're clearing this place out.
We did this demo of Elder Scrolls, but they just stayed in the town all day, every single day, and just shopped.
They failed the quest, but boy, they get a lot of cool stuff.
Oh my gosh, I want that other pet.
All right, so you are able to move 3 spaces.
Okay, so remind me, who's this guy?
That is one of the groups of cultists.
Okay.
So if you come across them, you'll have to fight them. Okay. These are the optional objectives where you can go and discard items equal to party size to make the end a little bit easier. And so all of these ones are towns. Yeah. So those are other towns that are going to have a spot in the gazetteer that you could visit. These other icons are just sort of, they don't have any innate function, but they will inform other aspects. So it'll be like, depending on where these cultists are, they might get buffs or debuffs depending on what they're by. Also, there's like side quests that'll consult going to different landmarks or quest steps. So they're there to sort of give quests sort of like markers, like be like, hey, you can go to this thing.
Okay, so if we got to here, we'd probably get there by day 4.
Yeah.
But it says by day 6. So we could make a beeline for the cultist to get some experience points and then try and go up to that one for the day 6.
Yeah. You want to go fight you want to go try and fight the cultists?
Yeah, I want to see some action. I mean, we won't get there in one day. What do you think?
Well, today we won't get there, but we'd get there the next day.
What are you thinking?
And one other option too. Yeah. So I mentioned that you get to move 3. You can move more. Mm-hmm. However, doing so gains everybody a light fatigue.
I don't love that.
Yeah, it's our first day. We don't want to overextend.
I know. We can't burn out.
Do we just want to go here?
Yeah.
Just walk here?
Okay.
Cool.
And something might happen, right?
Yep.
Like an event
happens. So if you're not on a town, or if you're in a town and you just don't want to go to town, essentially it'll follow like a set. Be like, okay, is this going to trigger a quest step? No. All right. Is it going to trigger an NPC interaction? No. Okay. Is it going to trigger a town? No. All right. Lastly, is it going to trigger a random encounter? So. Nice work. All right. So the 2 of you gain 2 experience, so this will go up by 2. So we're up to 4 for the group XP. And then now you can go ahead and just spend that, or you can choose to bank it as well.
How do you denote banking it? Is that this guy?
Yep.
So you can only bank 3?
Yes, correct.
What if I bank 3 and then I'm at the end and I got 2 more? Do I have 5?
You have 5 to spend at that moment.
Immediately.
But if you were like, oh, I don't have anything to spend it on for some reason, then you would lose that excess.
So I could spend 1 and bank 1.
Correct.
I'm going to spend 1 to get one of my restoration dice. That's these, right?
Can you buy more proficiency?
Yep. It'll just be whatever the cost is.
Oh.
Is this die?
Can I buy health?
No.
Yeah.
It has a hand. And it has...
Oh, yeah, because there's... So the level 1s are going to have the 1 in the top corner. And so there's either the hand one or the other one. There are 2 level 1 dice for that.
I'm going to spend both of mine, and I'm going to get a health, so...
Okay. Oh, it's one or the other.
Yeah, there's 2 level 1 dice for restoration. So you just get that.
Yeah.
And then you said...
I'm just in it.
I'm going to do proficiency also.
The blanket heal.
So we're end of day, so if you wanted to trade items, this is when you could do so, but you don't have to, of course.
No, you're good. You got your whole traveling shop over there.
I guess I could have gotten the magic one. I didn't realize we could trade. I would have grabbed that magic one for you.
It's all good.
All right, so the symbol here is reduce party movement by 2 on your next day.
Rude.
NPCs are going to move 2 hexes towards the party.
Well, they're coming towards us.
Yeah.
So that's going to trigger the clash in the next.
We were like, no, you come over here.
All right, so we move on to day 3. but you aren't able to move because it's going to just trigger this clash.
Okay.
Are we able to move after the clash, or no?
No.
It's like a set. Like
Yep,
boop,
they
boop, boop, boop.
ambushed you, and now they're...
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. We were coming to them anyway. So that's
I'm
fine.
ready.
Yeah.
All right.
We got our healing spells now.
Okay,
We got
so...
our flicking down.
Yeah.
Now you have to flick the cultists off the table.
All right, so we're here. Now the rules say that if the NPC marker is within 2 hexes of a outlaw landmark, which it is, we're gonna add 2 to the enemy pool.
Good.
Also, if the NPC is within 2 hexes of a ruin landmark, which it is, each enemy is gonna have +1 HP. So.
What?
I probably could have been a more moral guide and told you that ahead of time, but I don't know if it's better to say I forgot or I deliberately wanted this to happen.
Chaotic
I
energy.
don't know which is better. All right, so this is also going to be true if you ever draw an encounter card. There's going to be like a little diagram
Okay.
that shows you how to set up the map. So
Yes.
got the map set up here. We are going to place some item chips.
Mm-hmm.
There, there, and then there. So these are actually chips you can lockpick in the middle of the battle. Lockpicking, it just interrupts movement, but otherwise it's not going to like impede you. It doesn't stop you from taking other actions. Anything like that, you can just run onto it and attempt a quick lockpick minigame.
Is the lock picking just like in Too Many Bones?
No, it is quite a bit more simpler.
Oh, okay, cool.
I
That's nice.
kind of love how it's
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, because I can never get my
Me
loot.
too. So the way lockpicking works, and let's just take a look at this item card here for example. So you move onto one of these chests and you'll lockpick the top card there. You've got 3 attempts to try and lock in a 2, 5, and a 3. Just give it a roll.
Oh, so much better.
And so like, oh, cool, a 5. And then I have a 3 and a 6.
Yahtzee.
So you can do the 3.
Could do the 3, yep. And so that 6, I'm going to re-roll it. 4, okay, one final roll. 4. So instead of it just being like, oh, too bad you didn't get it, you're able to spend light fatigue to reduce or increase the value on one of these dice. So if you really want it, you'd be like, yeah, I'll reduce that to a 2.
Yeah.
Take 2 light fatigue and lock it. If you fail, the item is discarded. You essentially break the lock, and then that shuffles down to the bottom. Relics work a little bit differently. With relics, one of the numbers is in the star. You have to lock that number in first before you can lock any of the other numbers in. But you still only have the 3 dice. So the way that works, then you roll. Okay, I got a 2. I lock that in. Okay, I got a 1. I got a 4. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Now you can take once you've locked that one in, now you can take this one and then roll it for that last number. And then you roll a 3 just like that. Dang it. I was really hoping that would have been so cool.
Yeah, so
Whatever.
close.
Anyway.
Oh, I see. So this is a relic. I was just about to ask, like, how do you know the difference? But now I see that they're different.
Very cool.
All right, and then as far as the enemies go, you calculate the enemy pool. That's going to be based on the group XP counter multiplied by the number of players. So it's 4 by 2, so 8. Yes, 8. But it's +2 because we're next to a outlaw. So it's actually just going to be 10, which there are 1s, 5s, 10s, and 20s. So it's just going to be a single
just a single really bad enemy.
So you can actually have up to 8 enemies on the board at one time for a clash. Very rare that you'd actually have the 8 just because of the way the math works. You'd have to have like pretty...
You're always doing the greater though. There's no option for you.
Correct.
Yes.
You're always doing the greater amount. All right, so just going to go just like that. He's got 6 health. That's not so bad. Does have 3 attack and stun.
And he has 1 defense.
Yep, 1 defense. You'll have to burn through that defense.
Every time.
Every time, yep. Not every attack on a turn, just every turn.
Oh, good.
So like that example I was telling you about how you could, if you had 5 proficiency dice and you just keep doing one at a time.
It would just be the first one.
Just the first one would get soaked
Is
up by
it both of our turns?
No, it will be individual turns.
Got you.
Rude.
That would be too easy if it was both of our turns.
All right. So he is also melee, so he has to be adjacent in order to attack, but he does have stun, which means after he attacks, he's going to place a stun status effect die on you, which essentially is going to skip your turn.
Yes.
However, that would be considered a negative status effect, which our friend Barney the
my
crab here...
just came into the party. You're not looking at him just yet.
All right.
Quick question.
Yes.
Does he have range?
No, he is melee.
Okay.
If he did have range, he would have a little bow, and their range is going to equal this stat here. This, otherwise, is their... I always get confused if it's called aggro or threat. It's one of those two. We've changed it at different points, so I'm going to probably say both. But it is essentially how far it can see. because enemies aren't going to just automatically activate.
Oh,
They're only going to
cool.
activate if they see you.
Yeah.
Or if they're injured themselves, because they're like, I'm hurt. You know, so like if you're over here and you have a ton of range and you hit it, it's going to know something's up. It's like,
it's
okay,
just like
there's an arrow in my arm. Someone's here, and they become active.
Yeah. I love that effect because it's not like that usually in most of dungeon crawlers. So I love that that's the case. Movement? What did you say?
Movement is always 2.
Oh, it's always 2.
Always 2. Yep.
Okay.
And then also, he is the only guy, so as soon as he activates, that's going to be it. But they'll also activate if they see somebody else hurt as well. So that means you are able to sometimes like play it in such a way where you can get one person to sort of come to you without hurting. Like if you can get in their sight line, they'll be like, oh, I'll go investigate. And then this guy might just be like, okay, Paul, go have fun. Bye. You know, but if you injured Paul and Paul's hurt and this guy sees it, be like, oh my gosh, Paul's hurt.
Yeah.
Let's get into the fight. You know,
so. Just like in like Divinity or, you know.
It's like pulling an enemy. Yeah.
Yep. Quick question. Yeah. For sneak, is there a situation where you can sneak and backstab?
Yep.
God, that's so awesome.
Okay. All right, so now you can set up anywhere on the entrance tile there.
Okay.
And the turn order is going to be both of you will get to take a turn first. The one with a higher stamina will go first. So first we do this little player marker. Yeah. And then once the 2 of you take your turn, all enemies will go, and enemies will go in order of their highest threat.
Mm-hmm. And our movement is 2 as well, right? It's just always
your
2?
movement is going to be whatever your stamina is.
Okay. Does that take from your stamina?
Nope. Okay. It is a completely separate sort of action.
Okay.
Right. And then we're going to start in round 1. Now, thing about rounds is, also I forgot, he does have 1 extra health because of the ruins. So with rounds, it sort of ticks up. Once it gets to fatigue rounds, however, it is a little bit more punishing. At the start of fatigue rounds, the 2 of you are going to take an over fatigue die. So what's unique about these is that they never clear until the end of the battle.
Oof.
And so they will essentially clog up your cooldown. They will still move down, and they'll get stuck there, which essentially then lowers your cooldown. Yeah. Also, at the start of your turn, you take 1 true damage for each of these you have in your cooldown track.
How do you increase your cooldown?
It's 2 experience points.
Oh.
How do we know what our range is?
Range is going to be based on whatever you are rolling for. So if you are rolling magic, your range is going to be your magic stat. If you're rolling archery,
it's like 2.
Correct. Okay. Yeah. If you're rolling archery, it's going to be stamina.
Okay. So if I'm rolling either of these, it's going to be this.
Yep.
But if I'm rolling something like archery or
your proficiency die,
it'll be that. Okay, cool.
So how do you know what dice to roll or what to do with this? Like what?
Yes, that is going to be the amount of tenacity you need to spend in order to do it. So as you gain tenacity by either rolling misses, so like this little icon here.
Yep. Okay, so it's my first turn. I'm going to move. I don't want to be in his line of sight, so he can see 3. So 1, 2, 3.
Cool.
All right, so you did your movement.
Yes.
Okay. Did you want to do anything else?
I don't think I can because all of my stuff, my combat is
Jaysen's
melee, yep. And then I don't think there's anything. I don't have any. What would you call them?
Tenacity.
Tenacity.
Yep.
I don't have any tenacity, so I can't do anything there. Yep. So I feel like that makes the most sense. So when I cool down, do I remove these?
Yep, you'll get to remove those. Yeah. So the first turn, it's sometimes not even a bad idea to sort of move into the fight a little bit slow to clear that base fatigue without drawing aggro.
I mean, I want to attack, but then he's going to attack, and he's got all that stun business going on.
Did you see her once per battle?
Once per battle, when you would take any damage, you may choose to prevent all that damage. Would that also prevent the stun?
It would not, no.
Oh, okay.
That's so rude. I think I can move up to 2, right? Yep. I think, and 3 is how far he can see, right?
Yep. Okay. So you're still out of range.
And he can move 2.
2, yep.
So if he were able to move here, he would be able to get to me. That's unfortunate. I'm just going to come hang out with you here for a second.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you get rid of those 2 at least.
Yeah. And then I'm ready for I'm ready for a new day.
All right, so he'll activate, but he won't activate because he's just hanging out. I love how this is the 3 Argonians just all having a tussle.
Yeah, well, not even. We're just eyeing each other from across the room. Yeah.
Can you interrupt your movement with a hit?
No. So you do have to, the only thing that can interrupt movement are going to be like lockpicking. You don't have to do your movement, though, at the start of the battle. So
Here's what I'm thinking. So we're both in a prime area. Oh, your movement's 2.
Yeah, but you know what? I just am thinking either way, because you were going to go do that chest, right?
I was gonna say I could go make a beeline for him and hit if you wanted to come do the chest on your turn.
You can do the chest. Do you want to do the chest?
I mean, I want one of us to do the chest. And I didn't realize, I keep forgetting I'm at max.
Oh, yeah. But I only have 2 movement.
Yeah, so you wouldn't be able to get to it.
Oh, yeah.
2.
Totally.
Okay, I'm gonna use my Normead.
Okay.
Actually, when I get the chest, can I use an item? You know what I mean? Can I use an item immediately?
If the item is something that you can't use at that time, yes.
Yeah, because it just says discard. It's a consumable.
You don't want to use it if you don't open the chest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
All right, so
Okay.
you were here, right? So you're going to go to the chest?
Yes.
So 1, 2, and then you can just hop right on top. All right, there you go.
Perfect. Okay, so this chest is this guy.
3, 2, and 5.
3, 2, and 5. Okay, so I have a 3. Ugh. Okay, so
3 fatigue, I think, if you wanted to open it, because you have to reduce that to a 2, and then reduce that to a 5.
okay, and then because I'll cool down 2 of the fatigue, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
That's not so bad.
It's not too bad, yeah, when you think, because I got that other 2 out, so.
All right.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna use my Normead. Okay, it's a food. I can gain 3 bonus hit points or give each adventurer 1 bonus hit point when I take this. So that's nice, nice little backup.
Nice. All right, so I am gonna attack. I'm probably still gonna get stunned. I probably should have just attacked the first round and just got it out of the way.
All right, so you're going to attack. So.
I'm gonna use some magic.
Okay.
So I'm gonna use my Force Shock, which has me just roll 1 of these.
You can roll both if you'd like. You can roll up to 2 because your magicka is 2.
Yeah, let's roll some things. Let's do some things. That's not great.
You're gonna get tenacious.
Tenacity.
This is my life.
What are your options for 2 tenacity?
So I can add a valid die from your cooldown to your roll, which I don't have, or I can roll a free proficiency skill and heal target ally equal to hits rolled, or I can re-roll any number of dice from a single roll. So I can do that now?
Yep.
Oh.
So the thing about class abilities is you can trigger as many as you want to on your turn. The only thing you can't do is trigger the same ability twice on a turn.
Okay. Oh, much
there
better.
We go.
There we
go.
Get it.
So it looks like I am dealing 6 damage.
Woo!
Did we just murder our foe?
He has 1 health.
So it's got 1 defense, so then it's 5 damage.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's got 2 health left because it did have that bonus health at the start.
And then these go into my here, right?
Correct.
Okay.
But
now,
your turn will end and you'll get them back.
Oh,
so
right.
You have nothing else in your cooldown.
I really like that my first turn of the game felt powerful.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That's always nice.
That was nice, yeah.
Okay, so I am going to. Oh no, it's their turn.
Yes, it'll be their turn first.
Do they move? They just sit there.
Yeah.
We just hit them.
All right, so it can reach both of you because it's got 2 movement.
But he hit.
But it can. They don't have vendetta.
You're like, but listen.
I'm just picking locks over
so
here.
That being said, though, it is going to go for and it can actually hit 2. So if the 2 of you were next to, both adjacent, if you were here, it could move here and attack both of you.
Does it have a targeting 2 on there, or all of them can do that?
It depends on the.
I see the 2.
Yeah, the 2
got
people. Yep. But it's also going to prioritize the weakest, which is just based on health. So it is going to go for you. So it's going to move just right there because I'll take the shorter distance if it can. All right, so it's going to roll 3 against you if you want to do the honors.
Do you want to roll against me?
Oh yeah,
I feel weird
against
rolling
you.
against myself.
Oh yeah, I'll roll against you.
Oh, not too bad.
Two damage, right?
And then you are going to get stunned. Now you could war scale it if you want to, just avoid all of that damage.
It's once per battle.
Turn,
yeah, I should just do that. It's once per battle.
You are going to get stunned though, so that's going to go into your cooldown.
Get it.
Bloop.
All right.
Let me ask you something. If I come here and pick this lock, can I hit also?
Yep.
Oh my god! All right.
That makes me so happy. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move 1, 2. I'm gonna attempt to pick this lock.
All right. So you have to lock that 2 in before you can lock anything else.
You're all about the stuff.
I'm like thieving it today.
I'm literally like bait so that you can go. Like over here.
I'm not doing well with my dice rolls today. Okay, I got my 2.
Okay.
Got my 1.
Yep.
Okay.
And then now you can re-roll that one.
Yeah, so I just need a 3 and a 4. Okay, I got my 3, but that was my
That was your third roll.
turn.
Yep.
So now I need to do 2.
2 fatigue to get
I'm going to do it because I think we're going to get this guy on this next turn.
And that's a relic, so it doesn't. It's separate from your items, right?
No, it's all like your inventory. But you can take a look at the relic.
Yeah, you should see what it is first.
Can I make my decision after I hit? So that way I can think for a second while...
as long as you're not... Yeah, as long as you don't use something that
I'm not
going to
use it. Oh, that's a good question, I guess, if something I could use. While Signet of Worm is in your inventory, cover all exhaust or drain magicka dice. See, I want to give this to you. I don't want to waste that. Okay. We'll just do my Stinkhorn tonic. I'll get rid of that. That's fine. It's not a big deal. I don't love it, but I don't want to get rid of the Signet of the Worm. So that's going to put one guy on here, a Bane die.
Oh, you're using it, right? I see. Okay.
Yeah, because I might as well, right?
Yeah, might as well.
And that way we can just make sure, in case we whiff on our die rolls. So now he doesn't have the defense, right?
No, because it's a new turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But what does the Bane die do again?
The Bane die, it's going to deal 1 true damage at the start of his turn.
At the start of his turn. Got you. Okay, so just in case
you
we
just
can't
have to hit him for 1.
Yeah,
just
in case.
for 2
Oh, because you're
of the
stunned.
defense.
Because you're
I
stunned.
am stunned, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I shot a big spell.
I
He was
am
like,
glad
stop
I did
it.
that then, because then we can maybe. Okay, so I'll go ahead and roll these 2 guys.
Mm-hmm. And you could actually roll a proficiency die as well and roll that all together.
That wasn't it.
Yeah, I think he's dead because
I kill him.
1 damage, 2 damage, 3 damage, and so that'll just that's exactly what
Yeah.
So if this guy wasn't dead, for example, you could take those sword and board dice and place them into your active slots.
And for defenses, right?
Yep, and then they'll block 1 point.
Which I love. I love
that's
that.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, so he's dead, and that concludes you defeated the cultist, I guess.
Singular.
He's just
That was his bad for hanging out by himself.
Yeah.
What was he thinking?
He was just trying to, I don't know.
It's like, here's my treasure. I feel good about this.
good.
Who are those people?
All right, so you
Sure, it'll be
can
fine.
take your units
Oh.
back. So you can completely clear your cooldown then, and then just put light fatigue up to your cooldown stat.
Okay.
And then you can put any of the dice back into their spots.
Are we in end of day?
We are entering end of day, yes. But we are also going to gain 3 experience points.
Get it.
And I can only bank up to 3, so
Yep.
I should use what I can here. Okay.
And I'm going to pass this over to you
Okay, cool.
for later use, because that's a good one.